Welcome everyone! On this channel we talk about the beautiful and complicated life of nomads. So let's begin!
My name is Elena and I am the host on this channel. I was born in Serbia, lived in France for 16 years and now I live in the UK. I have been here for about 8 years, speak 4 different languages, and I have worked as a flight attendant for 10 years. So I know a lot of people that have lived abroad at some point in their lives, and that is something that I love talking about, traveling and nomads. And today I have the pleasure of welcoming Remy, who is a digital nomad that I have met through Instagram, and I will let him introduce himself in a minute. Hey, hello Remy, how are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you.
So you are the first nomad that I have on my channel that I haven't actually met in person. So this is exciting. I'm really looking forward to hearing all about your stories and about your travels. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I'm half American, half French. I lived most of my life in France, but I have family all over the world. And I've been a nomad for, I would say, 3 entire years. Moving on to 4, and I've been to numerous places. So yeah, the languages I speak are French, English, and I picked up a bit of Spanish over the years.
Yeah, Spanish is very useful actually when you're traveling, isn't it? You learn that English is not quite enough in some countries. So were you born in France or in America?
No, I was born in the US. I lived 5 years in the US, my 5 first years in California. And then we moved to England, actually. I lived in Yorkshire.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, for 5 years. And then after that, we moved to France in a small town south of Paris. I stayed there for 7 years. And I've been in Paris ever since. So that's another 8 years. You know.
Do you consider yourself a true Parisian?
Yeah, I've become Parisian, that's for sure.
With all the moodiness as well, or you left that?
I can become a true Parisian, yes.
So do you come often to the US then to visit family, or how often do you go?
Yeah, to the US I tend to go like once, twice a year. I like it, but I'm not ready to move here. It was always my dream to come to the US and go to college, I would say, and get a job here. But ever since I've been in Europe, I have been putting it off a bit. I like, as much as I like America, I will probably come and live here a while, but I'm just not ready for it yet.
So yeah, what made you start? Like, what made you want to become a digital nomad?
What makes me continue?
What makes you continue? Well, I know what makes you continue, but I call it the bug. I call it the travel bug. So it's.
Yeah. So what made me start is a lot of things. I really had a rough job before my current job, where I would have to commute to the office, and it was really a rough one. It was about an hour and a half uncomfortable. I would say that if you have a comfortable way to get to work, you know, the car is comfortable. I was on the Parisian RER. That's comfortable. Depends on the timing.
Depends on the time, yeah. Okay, you say so. I'm like, I hate the RER.
No. Yeah. Not every RER. I was using the RER-C, which was pretty much empty. But yeah. I was not taking that. I was taking buses that were filled with people, and basically, you would have to wait on the sidewalk while people would just bunch in. You would not be able to get that one because you couldn't literally not fit another human on the bus.
Yeah.
You know, you had people that would be fainting. It was just a horrible situation. It's like we're in a first world country where people are. We want comfort for all of our workers, right? Yeah. But yet they have to go through that. It sometimes reminded me of people going off to the what do you call it, the mines, you know, with the pickups, you know?
Yeah, no, well, it probably smelled the same as well with all the sweaty people.
Oh yeah. So,
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, okay, I understand.
I was running away from that as much as I could, so whenever I could work from home, I would try to work from home. And so at one point I got a wework membership. So I'm a wework member since 17, I believe.
All right.
Before all of their problems. And WeWork was just the answer to all my everything. It was, wow, go to WeWork. WeWork was a place where you had really nice light coming in. You had spaces for work. The furniture is really comfortable. You have free coffee during the day.
Which is very important.
Absolutely. You have beer to socialize with people. You have nice outdoor spaces. And so when I was working from home, because I was trying to not be in that discomfort of the bus, I was in the discomfort of, smaller Parisian apartment. I kind of all day long, it feels,
claustrophobic.
Yeah, exactly. So WeWork really opened it up. At the beginning, you could only go to one WeWork, and then they did something which was amazing. Was what they called at the beginning the global access, which now is the all access. And
can you explain a little bit? Sorry, I'm not sure I know what that is. So
you have one WeWork card. Actually, I always have my WeWork card on me. One WeWork card, and that gives you access to all the locations in the world.
Oh wow.
So what that did is that it opened up the world to you. You could go anywhere in the world and have the same standard.
All right.
So good Wi-Fi, phone booths to make your calls, free coffee. Some of them are close to airports, especially in Amsterdam. So
plus.
Yeah. So when that happened, it was just a no-brainer for me. It was like, okay, my work will never find out that I'm in a different area because the standard is always the same. I'm in a phone booth, it's the nobody's going to say anything. So you can go off wherever you want. So you have a map of all the places you can go, and you're like, okay, I'll go to Amsterdam, I'll go to Stockholm, I'll go to Berlin, I'll go to Mexico City. You have all these places all over the world. And so that really set me off, I would say, in 2019. I was like, yep, I can. And I did that. I went for months at a time. I didn't come back to Paris for 2 or 3 months, So it really helped with the confidence of leaving.
So that's just office space, right?
That really covered the biggest problem for most nomads, which is working, the office space, and making sure you can work abroad. And it's more than you can work, you're working productively.
Yeah, because you're in that space, and that's all. It's sort of work time and nothing else. So you are taking that to another level. So you're kind of taking that idea. That's where I'm getting from. So you're kind of taking that idea and turning it into also a living space and kind of offering people all around the world
What I believe is, you shouldn't struggle to travel. Travel should be just on this. I'm a full-time working person. And I shouldn't forfeit my productivity because I want to be outside of that horrible life that I used to be in, which was the bus, which was the RER and all that stuff.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to choose, right? You should be able to work and be productive to the rest of the world, but also be able to experience the rest of the world. So yeah, that's the best of both ways. Yeah.
So that is the answer.
Does your work know now that you're not in Paris?
Sorry, what?
Does your work know now that you're not in Paris?
At the beginning, I would not talk too much about it, but more and more, as I was confident enough to ask my boss. I don't usually disclose where I am exactly. I give them the time zone. That's the most important thing. The time zone, so that they know where you're working and what time to expect you and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, great. Yeah, it's I met someone back in 2010, I want to say, in Peru. And yeah, he was one of the first digital nomads that I've ever met. And I was like, this just sounds amazing. Like, it's incredible. Like, well done you for being so brave, sort of doing that. And he's like, you can do it. Anyone can do it. You just need to, stop limiting yourself and just kind of open up to the world. And so, okay, yeah, fair enough, you can. But he had a great job. It was easy for him to just take his laptop anywhere and just work anywhere. But yeah.
Actually, before I even got into this, I met 2 people at WeWork. I will always remember when I talked to them, they were the first nomads that I had met. And they were not from Paris. They didn't speak one word of French, and they were there working. I was like, wow, that's so cool. And those guys, you know, kind of put that idea in my head, and that's where it all started, I guess.
What has been your favorite country so far that you've been to?
I have multiple favorite countries, but I would say that question you cannot answer. It's only with actions, and it's where you end up going the most often that I would say are the most the favorite places. So I end up going to Barcelona a lot. I've been to Barcelona for a total of maybe 6 to 8 months or something. I don't know. Yeah, that's my favorite. I would say I've also been to Mexico a lot recently, maybe 4 times in the last 2 years. Nice. So that would be another favorite. And then I'm a very, very big fan of the Scandinavian. So Iceland and I like Sweden.
Yeah, it's a completely different culture, isn't it? People are much more chilled and respectful. They're very, very respectful there as well, which I love. I loved Iceland. It was one of my favorite trips. It's just such an amazing country, and people are so nice and welcoming as well. Have you done all the touristy stuff in Iceland?
Yeah, I did that the first time. I went there for the first time in 2018 with a friend. We actually went camping. We had a car and we went around for 6 days. Actually, it was a funny story because we would not visit during the day. We would visit during the night, since the nights were forever. It's actually a really good hack if you want to visit all the touristy stuff. I would sleep during the day and go out during the night and see these beautiful things. Everybody's sleeping and you're seeing these waterfalls, you're seeing everything. It's just amazing.
No, we went truly sort of the full experience. We went in December, so we had like 4 hours of sunlight, but it was just amazing. I didn't get to see the Aurora Borealis though. I need to go back for sure.
I heard that it's probably not the best place. I would say that Norway is a bit better for that if you're looking for that specifically.
Yeah, definitely it will do. Yeah, I saw on your Instagram that you also do airport reviews. Is that something?
I used to do that. I need to pick that up again. I've been to a lot more airports, and actually the reason why I haven't posted is that I have all the video for it, so I could do some more. When I'm in the airports, I'm always filming. I'm a very big fan of all the airplanes that are around. I just love it. And I pick up on what makes an airport good and what makes an airport terrible.
So what would be your criteria for a good airport? Start with the good.
So I think I did have criteria when I was doing this. So it would be transportation to get to the airport is a big one.
All right.
Then I would say that the security is a big one as well.
The organization and the security, how organized it is and how easy it is to get through. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Then I would say now that I have status, the lounge, I usually but that's another world by itself because I
of course,
the lounges. And then I think I think that's about it. I do have another criteria, I know, but and so
the secret one.
My favorite airport so far is the Amsterdam Schiphol airport.
Okay, interesting. I heard that Singapore was an amazing one that lots of people like. I haven't been to Singapore. I've been to Amsterdam. I can't say that I have any memories of the. No, you know why? Because I've been by train. That's why.
It's the fastest to get to. You can go from the center of Amsterdam and get there in 20 minutes. And I've done a door-to-door from center of Amsterdam to my flight in. I don't want to say things that are too crazy, but something between 15 and 25 minutes. It's unbelievable when you think of it. In Paris, it takes about an hour and a half to get to there.
It's insane. Paris is a nightmare. Whichever airport you go to, from the center of Paris, it's a nightmare. It's an hour and a half, as you say. Madrid is a very easy one to get to from the center of town. I love going to Madrid for that reason. As you say, it's very easy. It's about 20 minutes, half an hour, isn't it, by metro?
It is. Also by taxi, it's not that far away either.
No, yeah, exactly. But you wouldn't want to take a taxi to the airport from Paris either. That wouldn't be a good idea.
Well, actually, it depends because when they are on strike, you have no other option.
That's true. That is true. Like every other month. So, but
always something.
There's always a good reason to strike though. But that's why the French are the ones that have very, very good contracts. Like in Europe, they're the ones that have one of the best contracts. And you probably know a lot about that as well. But yeah, you kind of fight for your rights and you get what you want at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Not something they do much here in the UK, unfortunately for them, but they need to learn.
Or the US either, you know.
The US either, really. Is it the same over there? People are just kind of doing what they're told and not really trying to think about getting better conditions.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big thing actually. I was not when you're young, you don't really think about this stuff. You don't really care about that stuff, but that's what makes you kind of understand after a while. That's what is actually a good thing in France. I just can't imagine how it would be in the US. That's another thing that's pushing me off from working in the US is, what happens when you get laid off? What happens when, what are your rights, respected and everything. So it's always been a question for me.
So what is it do you exactly do as a digital nomad other than your Instagram? Do you have any plans of doing more with that? Would you have a website yet? Or?
Yes, I do. I have a project at the moment. It's in great growth at the moment. We're growing every day. So it's called Nomad Living.
Okay.
And I would call it more of a lifestyle kind of brand. So I have a website where I have a list of all of the locations that it is good to work remotely from.
Yes.
And it's a short list of Airbnbs that are built for people like us, nomads.
Work remotely, yeah.
Yeah, so these houses and apartments have everything you need to work remotely. So they're going to have desks, they're going to have monitors, they're going to have nice chairs and everything. And it's most of them are they want long-term rentals.
All right.
So we're expecting nomads to come and stay with them.
That's amazing. Okay.
So
it's a niche market, but once you're in it, sorry for interrupting, as I say, it's a niche market, but once you're in it, there is a lot more people now since the pandemic. There's a lot more people that have experienced remote working and actually realized, oh, well, I can do this from anywhere in the world, so I don't have to be at home. I can just go. It's amazing. Yeah.
So that's just part of the website. There's another thing that we're building at the same time is a community of digital nomads or remote workers. Some people don't want to call themselves nomads. They're remote workers. You have semi-nomads that have a base at home and then go for a month at a time. Yeah. So we have a community of people that live that lifestyle. And what I'm trying to do here is, one thing that I do with my friends that are also digital nomads is we have what we call the Nomad House. We call it Nomad House between us. Yeah. We take a part of the year and we put the dates down. Who's ready to go rent a house, rent an apartment with 3 or 4 bedrooms, and we'll go all together, work there all together, live there, experience the local culture all together. That's
amazing. That's a great experience.
Yeah. So that's what I've been doing with my friends just personally, no money, nothing.
Just like a team of friends. And so how many of you are there in the group?
So when I first started, we would have the same groups. It would be like 3 to sometimes 6 people that would come at the same time. And so now I wanted to make that more of a bigger thing and meet more people and have more houses in the future. Yeah. So we have a group of, I think I just launched it actually a few weeks ago. We're already 40 people in the group, and everybody's working remotely from somewhere in the world. And my goal is to say, hey guys, we are organizing this year. We're going to go to Rome with a few friends. Cool. For 1 month. Who is ready to come and stay with us for 1 month? We'll have a little community going.
Amazing. I have to introduce you to some people. I just have a few names in mind, and I have to really put you guys in contact because I know quite a few people that would be interested in that. That sounds like a brilliant idea because you all experience the same thing. Yeah, I love it.
it creates nice contacts with people that haven't yet met each other. We did a beta in Barcelona in October, where it was the first time I was opening up the idea to new people, and we had a few people that came. At the end of the day, we were 4 in the apartment, and then we ended up being a group of I would say 12 to 20 people that we were going out with, that we were having dinner with. It became like a local community that we created.
So would you say you have mostly French people, American people, or a bit of everywhere in the world?
So yeah, of course it started out French because all of my friends are French, but it's really branching out this moment. I would say, so in the beta, we had one of the guys that was in our house was Australian. So I mean, it's branching out. I would say there's more people from America and Australia in the group. There's a lot of different people here.
Cool. That sounds like that. Yeah, amazing plan. Well done, you. And yeah, and it'd be great for you to know all those Airbnbs and be able to kind of tell people, look, I've got a few places, choose, and let's all go there. And so at the end of the day, what would be the goal to visit how many places within a year? Let's say, do you have any sort of idea, or you're just going to wing it?
It works on the bucket list. So you have the next places that you absolutely have to go to, and it's more about getting on the phone with a friend. What do you think about this place? And when are you free? And you always like, we could go there. And then the idea forms, and like 2 or 3 people, we kind of fix dates, and that's how we go. I would say that. So on my bucket list this year, I want to go to Argentina. I want to go to Colombia.
Yeah.
I want to go to Turkey. I definitely want to spend some time in the same places. I love going back to Italy. So Rome is definitely on the list. But who knows? Maybe I'll branch out into Asia this year as well. Korea is a place I really want to visit. Japan as well. So
yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, I think to get started, it's good to go to places that you already know, so you can kind of get people, inform them and tell them where to go, which restaurants, which clubs, whatever. And so is it mainly, you would say, what, 20 something, 30 something, or is it open to anyone who's willing?
I never put a barrier on the age. I really am. You get surprised on how people are. The age doesn't mean anything.
No.
If I had put a barrier, then I would have not met a lot of people. So it goes from the 25s to 35s.
Yeah.
To even more. I don't really have a preference there. Yeah.
Cool.
And also one of the preferences that I would like to have is I'd like it to be equal in the number of men and women. Like, it would be better to have that, because it has some, if you have only men, you're not gonna meet the same kind of people when you're going out, right?
Yeah.
You tend to meet certain types of people, but if you have girls and boys, girls will bring certain types of people in. It's all about also branching out and getting new people into the group. So
yeah,
it's important for me that part.
Yeah, great. And then is the language part of it, or will you guys mainly speak in English to open it up to most people? And then if someone wants to learn while you're there, will you be interested in learning? Like, let's say you go to Colombia for 3 months. Will you be interested in learning Spanish and like having maybe a tutor that comes and teaches all of you Spanish or things like that, if you're willing to kind of expand?
I haven't thought about that. I think everybody would have to be on board with learning the language. Now, when we had that situation where we had 1 Australian, 3 French. We were speaking all English altogether. Of course, when he was not there, we were speaking French, but
yes,
whenever he was there, it's more of the inclusive. So the language is English to be fair to everybody. And I for myself want to speak Spanish when I'm in the Spanish region. So I will try to bring locals in, and I think bringing people in that don't speak English, because you have a lot of places in the world they don't.
Yes.
Also forces people to learn the language.
And it's all about different types of communication as well, and learning about different cultures. So if everyone kind of goes into that bubble of speaking English and all doing the same, you don't experience that much, I guess, if you have a Korean person and then start learning a few words in Korean, then next time when you go to Korea, you'll know what to do, what not to do, and it's I think it's about that as well. And being a nomad is about that, and learning about different cultures as well. And
that's what when I go to a new place, I really want to learn more about the local stuff. That's why I tend to not do the tourist things. I tend not that I choose not to, it's just that I'm not interested. When I was in Mexico City, I didn't visit too many of the tourist cities. That was the place that I was at the last. And I would just prefer going to the local taco place or the local bar or whatever, and just live like people do and just observe how people are,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I always say you need to get lost in the city. So wherever you go, just don't. You can't really, in a big city, especially any sort of capital in Europe, especially, you can't really get lost. So I always like to just go for a walk by myself and then not know where I am at one point and find my way back anyway. But it's just nice to go through those streets that you wouldn't normally see if you were following a guide or whatever. Yes. So you mainly stay in Airbnbs. Is that what you're saying? You don't?
Yep. That's because I have to, because that's the only product today that serves me in the community, I say. I think that most of the nomads have to go through Airbnb because hotels are not going to be what you're looking for. And, there are certain things that are picking up right now. Airbnb really opened the door for a lot of smaller niche places, but yeah, I principally use Airbnb now. Airbnb is not the perfect product. It does not serve the digital nomads well at all.
Not yet.
Not yet, but I'm not seeing any progress from
right.
Airbnb's part on this niche of people. It's more seen as a vacation home rather than living, and I think that they need to make a better effort for people that are using it really, really every day. Maybe have some kind of membership where you pay in.
That's a good idea.
There are people who use Airbnb more than they stay in. They're using it probably 300 nights out of the year.
Yeah. They should have a section on their website where, as you say, membership is a brilliant idea, but also they should have a section where they say, okay, if you're looking for a long stay, 1 month stay, 2 month stay, click here, and then these are your options that are better for you than just a 1 night, 2 nights, as a family vacation or whatever. I think you need to reach out to them.
I'd love to, actually. I'd love to. That's one of those companies that I would even love to work for. But I did redo it. I mean, this is really part of my business. This is in my pitch deck. I have gone over it, and they say that their market is something like $1.8 trillion, and 1.5 trillion out of the 1.8 is for short term. So they, in their minds, long term is only, what is that, 15% of what they're trying to go for. They're not making an effort to capture that market, and I think it's a bigger market than that. That's for sure. They're
seeing it the wrong way, right? They should be saying we're only making that percentage because it's not aimed at those people. If we're expanding and aiming it at nomads and people that look for places for a month or 2 or 3, then maybe they would earn more. And I think in terms of prices as well, they could, as you say, get memberships and packages, and most hosts, most people that are renting their flats or whatever would be more than happy to have a safety whereby they'll rent for a whole 3 months rather than not knowing whether they're renting from 1 week to another. So
it really, really depends, because you have places. I was just in Tulum, and in Tulum, for example, they won't rent you a month or 2 months during the high season, because prices can literally go 5x. Place that you're paying 40 a night, you're going to pay 200 a night during the peak times. So they don't want to miss out on that, and therefore, and Airbnb doesn't want to miss out on that either. They're taking 17%. So if you're doing long term and cutting the prices, okay, you're getting stability, but you're not getting that influx of people. However, the Airbnb is competing with hotels, and at the end of the day, people are starting to recognize that hotels are at the same price with service, and these Airbnbs have zero service. So.
The one thing that I must admit really annoys me with Airbnb is the cleaning charge that's so high in some places, and mostly because it used to be you don't have to have a cleaning charge. You can just, because I tend to leave the place as clean as I found it, if not cleaner sometimes. So it really annoys me that it's now, for most places, not even optional anymore, that you have to pay, I don't know, 150 euros cleaning charge. Like, well, not, kind of, it bothers me.
It's for me, it's gotten obvious that this is the only way that they're making that extra money, right? I've seen sometimes it's proportional. So sometimes when you are renting a place for a month, and that's with a few friends, we can easily get to 4,500, 5,000 euros if we're a few people. So the cleaning fee sometimes is upward of 500 euros, or I've seen 800 euros for cleaning fees. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. No, because it's going to be the same cleaning that they'll do in a couple of hours if you leave after a month, or if you leave after 2 hours, unless you're really trashing the place down. But in that case, they just take it on from.
You're going to get a bad review if you trash it down anyway. But,
exactly. So it's not in your interest to do that. So no, I agree with you. It really doesn't make sense. No.
Yeah, and the cleaning fee is not taxed, I believe. I think that you can take that off it's part of the charges, like it's part of how much it costs business. So that's just cash in their pocket. Just know if you're a host, if you have a high cleaning fee, like I know exactly what's going on. I know exactly what you're doing. It's not, everybody knows right now what's going on. And so part of nomad living actually is I want to experiment on a new model of accommodation. And that's what I'm trying to take on as well. So it's something called Settle. I call it Settle. It's an apartment built for remote workers, and I want to see if there is room in the market for that product. And I would list it on Airbnb. So it's an apartment that has a monitor, a desk, a nice chair, good Wi-Fi, quiet, good lighting, really perfect work from home setup. And I'm going to put it on Airbnb, see if that gets clicks. It probably will. And my model will be trying to go through the community of nomads, branch into the community of nomads, and see if anybody would go direct to consumer to reserve these spaces. So that's my project for 2023. I'm looking at places in Barcelona to start. So that will be in
It's a good place to start. Barcelona is a great place to start. I'm sure there's a lot of nomads that would like to, well, I was going to say settle. No, you don't settle as a nomad, but they would like to stay, put camp in Barcelona for a while. Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, well, then I think it's all about the idea and having the guts to try it, and having a new idea and think, actually, this can work, and kind of having the right people around you, which sounds like you have. So that's brilliant. Yes. Oh, well, thank you so much. This has been really, really lovely. And I wish you all the best. I will put the link to your website in the description box below, and anything else, and your Instagram, obviously. And if anyone wants to reach out and try and find out a bit more about all the different Airbnbs and stuff. I'll see you soon back on the channel, hopefully.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.